Hello, and welcome back to Idjits Gaming and our series on how to trap, tame, and use creatures like an Idjit. Today, we hunt our most fearsome foe yet, the most insanely difficult tame in the entire game, freshly released with the new April Fool's patch. The fearsome feline, the mighty mouser, the floof with an attitude, the common housecat. These tiny terrors can be found stalking the grasslands of the island, the center, and here on Astraeos. These domesticated divas are a simple passive tame with a penchant for meat. The better the cut of the meat, the better the tame. But their favorite is wyvern's milk. If you're on a map that doesn't have wyvern's milk, prime fish and raw mutton rank right up there pretty close. The common kitty is a basic passive tame. Just put your favorite food of choice in the last slot of your hotbar, walk up behind it, and press E. And as simple as this tame seems to be, just remember these tiny nuggets of terror do hold a dark and murderous secret. In addition to being the cutest new critter in the entire game, they are without a doubt broken and overpowered. Get one now. And not just because they're adorable. We'll get into just why they're overpowered a little later in the video, but for now, let's see just what the game itself has to say about it. Surprisingly, Helena doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of good things to say about our new little friends. She refers to them as fiends and goblins and wonders why you'd want to tame one. But again, I'm going to say she's wrong. Get one of these immediately. There's not really a whole lot of pictures on this for me to enjoy, but there's a lot of words that if you know how to read, knock yourself out. Pause the video, read through the dossier. By now, I hope all the words make sense to you, and we can go ahead and do a little bit more. We'll do some taming. We'll get into why these things are so broken. Let's get into it. If you happen to find a cat that has the yellow icon above it, it doesn't want to be your friend. It doesn't really seem to matter what you do. You're not going to tame it. If it has a red icon above its head, it really doesn't want to be your friend. And if you insist on it being your friend, it's going to remind you that kitty's got claws. And it's not afraid to use them. In between those adorable little toe beans, there just happens to be daggers of death. And there's no shame in running away from a cat that wants to rip your face off. The drawback is, once it's got a red icon, it doesn't really ever seem to go away. My tribe mate was able to tame this, but I came back to this cat multiple times, and every time it was red. And it tried to kill me a few more times. So let's go find a little bit more friendly pussy. I was able to find this male not too far away. It's got the green icon, it's taken fish, it wants to be friends. Let's feed it, give it all the scritches in the world. Much better for a cat that wants scritches from me instead of giving scritches to my face. And it's very possible that either it felt pity for me or it could just smell the blood still gushing from me. As much as you wouldn't really think that you need to bring armor with you to tame a cat, bring the good stuff. Don't bring cloth. I only walked away from the last fight because I've got a lot of health and I'm wearing ascendant armor. After a few pieces of fish, this little boy wants to come home. He said something about being my new lord, but I don't know what he means. We already got him one girlfriend, but let's go ahead and get him another one so he's got a little choice if he'd like. We found this tenacious tabby up in the mountains on the other side of the map, and we decided we'd go ahead and give her some raw prime, because by now all of our fish meat has spoiled. She still greedily gobbled it down while purring like a princess. On my server rates, the raw prime seems to work just about as well as the wyvern's milk and the raw prime fish meat, but on lower rates, they might spread out a little bit more, and you might want to just stick to the wyvern's milk or the fish. With a big old hunk of meat in my hand, it didn't take a whole lot of convincing to get this kitty to come home with me. And just like that, we got another putty cat. Let's go home and figure out which one's going to ride around on our shoulder. Earlier on in the video, I was talking about how broken and overpowered the cat is, and this is what I mean. We all know the Pegomastus is a little bit of a menace, especially early game. They just run up, steal your stuff, and then take off into the woods, never to be seen again, taking your valuables with them. But if you've got a kitty on your shoulders, the Pegos are terrified. They won't even approach you. And that's not the only absolute annoyance that's positively petrified of our feline friend. I can't think of a single player of this game that hasn't had something pilfered by these stupid freaking seagulls that just swoop down, gank your stuff, and fly away. And as long as you've got a tiny ball of rage on your shoulder, the bird won't even come close to you, and your stuff is safe. Unfortunately, there are limitations to just what the cat can do. The nightly nightmare, the Trudon, doesn't really seem to be afraid of your cat. It's still going to come get you, and if you're not on a mount, you're going to sleep and you're going to die. Stay away from Trudons, or just carry a torch. However, the most mischievous miscreant in the game that's caused many of a death, especially for myself, the Microraptor, you don't have to worry about. You can just walk up to these little things, punch them in the face. They're still not going to do anything to you. Watch. It just runs away. It knows the kitty's going to tear it up. And for those three reasons, get a cat, breed a cat, keep a cat. Just make sure you've got this pest control enabled. You can enable it from the radial bar while they're down on the ground or up on your shoulder. And you don't have to worry about the three largest annoyances in the game anymore. If you excuse me, I'm going to lay down with Mr. Bigglesworth. Until next time, I've been an Idjit, obviously. Yes, my lord. They will like and subscribe. Cats are better than dinosaurs. We will only tame cats from now on. Yes.